gorgeous. Good morning, gorgeous. Good morning, gorgeous. All the times that I hated myself, all the times that I wanted to be someone, all the times that I should have been gentle. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Confidence from Healing from Abuse and Trauma. I'm just going to wait a couple of minutes here to just let everyone come on and join. And go ahead and comment below where you're watching from and where or what you're going to take away from today. So thank you everyone for joining. If you're catching the replay, go ahead and say #replay so that I can interact with you when you go through this journey. So we're just going to take a couple minutes here to wait and let people join. And go ahead, comment where you're from. How is your day going so far? It's 10 a.m. here in Washington State. And I'm so excited to share with you guys everything that we need to heal and step into our confidence. So thank you, everyone. I'm just going to give a couple minutes here. So go ahead, if you haven't, just go ahead and get pencil and paper. We're going to have lots of notes. Kailey Breyer is going to be joining us at 10:30 today. I'm very excited. She is an expert in confidence, so she'll be joining us and speaking about how to really step into confidence and your power. And then later, after she speaks, we'll have a 10-minute break, and then we'll come back, and this will be at 11 a.m. today, and then we'll go deeper into healing from trauma and stepping into our power. So many of you are on here. Welcome, everyone. I'm just so excited. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. So my name is Jacquelyn Weiss. I'm a body and emotion code practitioner and sexual abuse and trauma expert. I help women step into their power after abuse and trauma. And I am the author of Healing the Survivors, the 8 Steps to Whole Self Healing. So a little bit about me is I am a trauma survivor of sexual and domestic violence, where I have had to go through these steps to heal and step into my power so that I can live my life the way I'm designed to be. So everyone in this room, I'm so happy you're here. This is a community where we have support and love and compassion for each other. So when we do these exercises throughout this workshop, just know that the intention here is to love and support. There's no judgment here. There's only love. So this is a safe space. But if you need extra support after, feel free to message me or anyone that you feel that resonates with you while we're going through this workshop, because I really want to create this space of sisterhood where we can actually come together and truly heal. So I'm excited because I know what it takes to really heal from these things, and community is so important. So when we go through this journey together, just let me know what you need. If you have questions, feel free to ask. Just message me, or you can comment on here. I'm here to help you guys. This workshop is for you. So utilize this time. If you have children, maybe put them away, ask your husband or anyone to help support you so you can get the healing that you need. Because when we are coming together, it is important that we take this time, because from now on, from this point, this is our turning the page. And so it's important to just take this time for yourself to get the healing that you need right now. So thank you, everyone. So what we're going to talk about today is confidence. How do we have confidence? How does trauma affect our confidence? And then also we're going to talk about healing and different tools. I've created templates for you guys for later, things we can muscle test for, just so you can get the support that you need, because healing is well-rounded. It's not just one direction. There's so many tools out there that not a lot of people know or are utilizing right now. So we'll share this too. So I want to talk about how confidence actually helps you heal. So, in my own journey, when I went through abuse and trauma, I had no confidence. I couldn't take a picture of myself. I had really abusive thoughts. Well, if you think about it, maybe you're going through that right now, but what is happening when you have these thoughts? Well, you don't have clarity. You don't have a sense of direction. You're blocked with your purpose. And oftentimes it blocks you from even self love. And self love is the most important piece to our healing because we need to take this time to connect back in with ourselves, to truly love ourselves. Because moving forward, this is only for us. We're not healing for other people, we're healing for ourselves. Because if we take that time to just move forward in love and peace and kindness to ourselves, the healing happens quicker, but it's also going to heal those deep roots. So, confidence is something that I like to think about as it's not egotistical, but it's stepping into your pure self because your pure self only does things out of kindness and gentleness and of power. And that is what confidence is. You can tell when you're looking at yourself. Maybe you're not feeling good that day, but you shrivel up and you shrink. But as a confident person who is, I mean, it doesn't have to be just physical, it can be mental, it can be spiritual. That energy is what one will protect you from anything negative, but it also helps you raise your vibration. You start attracting positive things, your thoughts start to become positive. And so they say that it takes 10 seconds to start manifesting a negative thought. Just 10 seconds. So I want you to think today, like, are you spending your time thinking? Is it positive or is it negative? Because if you start focusing and having this kind of conscious awareness of where your thoughts are being spent, then you're going to be able to focus on it. Oh, I need to change this thought. Oh, I need to do this exercise to help me get in a good headspace. Because as you're healing, it's easy to just kind of close in on ourselves and it blocks us from really stepping into our power. So, something that I did is if I have a negative thought, I sit with it. We don't want to just shove it away because to you or me at that time, this is a reality. This is how I truly feel. So you sit with that thought, you just take a deep breath, and then you let it go. And you just breathe it out. And then what you do is install it with a positive statement. So if I'm feeling like not feeling so confident with my body, I could say, I am beautiful, right? And you say it as many times as you need to just help yourself kind of open that up because it starts changing. But how does trauma affect our confidence? When you go through trauma, it depends on what kind of trauma. It could be going through a narcissistic relationship. It can be abuse. It can be childhood abuse. It can be sexual abuse or spiritual or financial. There's so many structures of these types of abuse, and I don't want to put a label on any of those because everyone's story is different. But when you look at these things, what goes first is your trust with yourself. And what that could look like is you don't know what's the best decision for you anymore. So I think that's a part of confidence because if you're not trusting you, well, you're not going to believe in yourself. Then it can go into your appearance. Depending on what you went through, sometimes you feel you're not beautiful anymore. And so how does that affect the way you're showing up? Well, maybe you're not showing up at all. Maybe there's a job that you want to go for, but because of that trauma saying, nope, you're not good enough. Nope, you don't deserve it. Nope, you're not worthy. You're not going to keep showing up the way that you would if you're confident. So trauma affects our confidence in a huge amount that I don't think we really understand But when we actually start to focus on the different areas where you're not feeling so confident in your life, it could be your physical, it can be your mental, your financial, it could be your relationships, whatever that might look like for you. Just focus on that little area of what can I do for myself to feel more confident in this. So when I was going through healing, mine was about my appearance. And this was a really big thing for me. And I know a lot of women, like we see it on social media, we see it everywhere, that we have to truly care about what we look like or how we're appearing. And for me, I was in an abusive relationship. And what was happening is the first thing that shifted in me was my face. My physically, or my body would respond physically. It would swell up. It would kind of just go with how I was feeling that day. So if I was feeling really confident, my body would relax. If I was, in a self-abuse state, my body would inflame. So we forget how the body responds when we are going through trauma or we're healing from it, because the body's going to physically respond. So if I'm thinking, or if you're thinking, well, I'm ugly, I'm fat, whatever, the body's going to say, okay, I guess this is a truth. So we're going to make that happen. So by switching my thoughts every day, I would show up, I would journal, I would do all these different things to help me start thinking differently. And now being out of that abusive relationship is something that I started to focus really hard on, was loving myself and speaking kindly. And today, I might feel in flames a little bit, but I'm not focused on it. But I also am loving myself. So comment below what you do to really gain confidence. What is one of the things that you do or are trying to do each day to bring that confidence back into your life? Because I think this is so important and we have so many things to learn from here. But we also want to focus on the positive, right? So go ahead, comment below. What do you do to gain confidence each day? Good pain. Yes. Yeah. Pain is a huge thing when we're going through trauma. The body is holding on to it and it stores it because it's saying, hey, we need to release this. So thank you. So when you step into your confidence, it can look very differently for everyone. But what I want you to focus on as we're going through this workshop today is what is the area that you want to focus on. So if it's your physical, if it's maybe you are wanting to feel positive, what are these goals that you have to move forward? Brianna says daily affirmations, reading spiritual books to gain confidence, yoga, meditation. I love that. Yes. Sometimes I feel old. What we need to do is change beauty standards. So one thing that I did was find someone that I felt kind of resembled me in the way, like if we're looking at media or anything. And you can actually look at how they portray themselves and you can start adapting to their confidence. So if you're seeing yourself in a certain way, look at someone that you idolize, right? You could start taking their characteristics. I had listened to a podcast that Rihanna had done, and she said that when she doesn't feel confident, she just fakes it. So what I thought was, if I'm not having a good day, I'm just going to pretend I'm having a good day. If I'm not feeling so confident and beautiful that day, I'm just going to pretend that I feel good and confident. If I'm having pain in my body, I'm just going to pretend I feel great. Because as you're doing this, you're also resetting the nervous system. You're resetting your mindset too. That will help you move forward. So try and struggle every day with critical anxiety. Okay. Message me. We can work on that too. So with the modalities that I use, I use the Emotion Code by Dr. Bradley Nelson, which focuses on releasing trapped emotions and trapped traumas in the body. This has been a game changer for me and all my clients, where we have actually been able to remove all these negative energies that are affecting us physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, financially. And so when you step into that healing pattern, we can heal everything, right? So when we have trauma, it disrupts our identity. So I'll say that again. Trauma disrupts our identity. And how does it do that? Well, it's because when we go through things, we have shame, we have guilt, we have anxiety, we have depression, we have this kind of open wound on our heart because we are so powerful, but it's taking our power away. So it's kind of like we're on this right track, right? We are loving, we're learning ourselves when we're growing up, all these different things. But now what happens is we lose our identity through that process. Some people might feel like they're wilting away. When I was going through healing from my sexual abuse, I felt like I was wilting away. And when you go through that process, it's really hard, right? It's not easy. You don't know who you are anymore. You don't know what you love. You've lost your identity. And so what happens is now you don't know what makes you happy. You might not believe you deserve happiness. You might have all these different thoughts around it. And now you're left with what? Feeling lost, feeling like you don't know who you are anymore. And so one thing that I have learned is when you look at yourself, you have to look at yourself as if you're a child, right? How would you, one, treat a child? Two, how would you help them heal? Three, what? You help yourself relearn who you are and find out what you love to do. So one thing that I've learned is that you look at your love languages. So I call them negative love languages. So what you can do right now, actually, and comment below what your love language is now, but also comment what your negative love language is. So what that means is when you have self-abusive thoughts, that is affirmation, right? But that's in the negative way. If it's not taking care of yourself, like self-care, that could be, quality time. So comment below what your negative love language is, or your positive one, because what we're going to do is kind of just dissect that and see how we can actually start to move forward, creating this positive space. So, Brianna, physical touch and quality time. Well, how are you going to do that now for yourself? Is that giving yourself a hug every day? Is that spending just time with yourself, doing things that you enjoy? So I'm saying maybe you need a massage, maybe you need meditation, right? Spending more time with yourself. Negative self-talk. When you have negative self-talk, it is stopping it in its tracks when you're thinking, but now it's maybe you wake up extra and you do your daily affirmations, because when you have that negative self-talk, right, it's going to affect how you're showing up every single day. So we'll get to that a little bit later about the attraction for the negative men in your life. We'll go actually deeper into healing that. But what I think is very important is just kind of sitting with your negative love language and see how you can do the opposite and reverse that into a positive. And that means sometimes you have to do this every single day, twice a day. You just have to catch it while you're going through the motions. So write down what that is. Sit with yourself for a minute on what that will look like in a positive way, because that does affect our confidence levels. Because one, we're not giving it back to ourselves. So when we're trying to get it from other people, we're resistant. We're not allowing ourselves to really receive it from other people because we're not giving it back to ourselves. And I want you guys to know right now, this doesn't mean that you are selfish. I had a lot of women tell me that when they take care of themselves, they feel like it's selfish. And I want you to know it's not at all, because you can't show up for other people. You can't show up for your children. You can't show up in your life the way you are designed to if you are not taking care of yourself, if you aren't loving yourself, if you're not showing up for yourself in the way that you need to. So thank you for that, everyone. I get to introduce Kailey Breyer in a little bit. I'm really excited. I've been watching her TikToks for a long time. She has 660,000 followers on TikTok, and I'm really excited because just going through my own healing from my abusive marriage, I was actually able to gain my confidence back just from watching her videos. So I'm really excited, and I'll introduce her shortly in a minute. But if you guys want to go ahead and just get a piece of paper out and write down some questions you might want to have for her later, because at the end I'll have her be able to answer some questions. But some things a little about her is she is so inspirational to so many women and girls all over the world. I mean, she shows up in her authentic self, and you can feel just from her videos, and I tagged her links in the description of this video, but just how she shows up. It's just, you can feel her power, you can feel her energy, and it's something that I really incorporated into my own life on how to really show up. So I'd like to introduce you to Kailey. She has been an inspiration. Kailey is 24 years old. She's an entrepreneur, speaker, and content creator. And she's going to be able to guide you into taking action today on how to gain confidence. And Kailey's confidence has given her the courage to build a teen girl empowerment company called Kailey's Queens at the age of 21. So me and her are actually we're like the same age. So it's very empowering. It's inspirational, because I like to think about where was I at that time in my life, and how would I have needed her in my life when I was, 14, 16 years old. So Kailey's platform is just based on confidence. She has over 660,000 followers on TikTok, and she is just wanting to inspire and create confidence in women all over the world. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce her. Everyone go ahead, comment, spam the chat of saying hello. Hello. Welcome. So I'm so excited. I always talk about how things are supposed to happen divinely. So I had reached out to Kailey because I was thinking, I think it was like 2 months ago, that I wanted to put this workshop on. And we had talked a little bit, and then I didn't hear from her again. And I was like, okay, well, if she's supposed to be here, she's going to show up, or whoever's supposed to be involved is going to show up. And she texts me on Thursday, and she says, hey, I'm in. What time? So I thought it was perfect, because at that time I was like, I don't want to talk for 2 hours straight by myself. So I was like, we need someone else. We need another voice. So I am so happy you're here. And I know that you're traveling today, or you just got to LA. So thank you for taking the time to be with these women, to empower them and help them step into their power. So thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, it's so funny how everything works together, just like you said, divinely, because what happened is, first of all, everything got moved over, right? Because I had an assistant moving my Insta messages. So I didn't see Jacquelyn's other message. And then I was on a coaching call, and pretty much she was like, okay, what's your number one goal in life? And I'm like, speaking. And then I was like, wait, someone had reached out to me about speaking. And I
Yeah.
messaged Jacquelyn and she was like, it's this Saturday. I'm like, yes, I am there. So thanks for having me, Jacquelyn.
Well, thank you for coming. And I'm so excited for what you have to offer to these women because, like I said earlier, your videos are so inspiring, just the way you carry yourself. And I want to really dive deep because that is what a lot of us are lacking. And I know you've gone through your own, trauma and experiences in life that you even had to battle to get to where you are. So I would love for you to just kind of tell us a little bit about your journey. Where were you maybe 5 years ago? And where are you now?
Woo! I'm getting emotional, seriously, because this morning actually was a rough morning for me. And
Mhm,
something that I want to say before starting is no matter how confident you are, I really believe that confidence is limitless, just
mhm,
like love is. And so, even me, who I do believe I'm extremely confident, we all are always working towards it. So, even though 5 years ago versus now, I'm 100 times more, there's more to go, and I'll
mhm,
always be working on it. And I think it's important for us to be patient with ourselves because there's always more. But, anyways,
mhm,
5 years ago, whew, I mean, if you don't know my story, a lot of what I've struggled with is food. I've
mhm,
had a bad relationship with food. I've actually encountered other traumas, which I think because my platform is just getting big, I still haven't opened up about because a lot of my following is teen girls.
mhm,
And I don't want to do anything but empower them right now. So I want to filter everything I've been through, but I've had a lot of traumas. But 5 years ago, with men, trauma, self inflicted in a way, because I didn't know my worth. And so I was okay with what was being handed to me with every aspect of my life 5 years ago. I I didn't know my worth. I didn't
mhm.
know that I am worthy of anything and everything. And so, not to dive too deep into all the specifics, with men, especially just because the teen girl aspect. But
This
when
is
it
a safe space, so you can share anything.
right, right, I know. I think it'll be uh, a thing. You know how some people who build the platform, it's like 15 years later where they like really
Mhm,
open everything. I think with my deeper things, that is it. But with food, especially, that's like something I've really struggled with. And 5 years ago, if I looked in the mirror and saw my body, I wouldn't go out. I wouldn't see friends. I would hide inside my room because I thought I wasn't worthy. And now I still am not perfect. I still have times where I overeat. And I love myself now enough to be patient and compassionate with myself and know that
mhm,
even if I overate and wish I wouldn't have,
mhm,
I came so far and my body doesn't define me and I'm working on it. And people on the internet, and I know this isn't a food workshop, but because my trauma is a lot with my relationship with food, and I think a lot of women do struggle with their relationship with food, whether it's good or bad. We have to do we have a relationship with food every single
mhm,
day, at least 3 times a day. So it's just like the confidence that I am worthy no matter how much I screw up. And I think through my, like, when I mess up now, because we mess up every day, at the end of every mess up, even at my lowest lows, I'll be like, I'm still awesome.
mhm. Yeah, well, thank you for being vulnerable because that's not something easy to talk about. Also, I don't think people share enough about it either. Like, we can look at all these people, right? We can even look at our friends, and we still
Mhm.
don't know what they're actually going through. So, I think
Right.
that it's really important as we go through this journey of stepping into our power and our confidence is just really just focusing on ourselves instead of what everyone else is doing, how everyone else is looking, how we compare too much to each other or where we used to be, right? I remember looking at pictures of myself when I was younger and be like, oh, I wish I was that skinny again, or oh, I wish I looked like that. But I that's not kind to myself. That's
Mhm.
not like this, healing piece, we have different stages in our lives and it's a lot of work to be able to love and recognize ourselves as we're in that space, but I think it's very powerful once we do. So in your journey, like, how did you step into confidence? What was like the things that maybe a couple tips that you went through to really step into that piece?
Yeah, so I think a lot of it is embodying self-love. For example, my sister, she's a freshman in college and she had gotten fake lashes, which by the way, I have fake lashes. I
Mhm,
love fake lashes. And she had taken them off and she was like, I just can't look at myself. I feel so gross. And I
mhm,
told her, I was like, try smiling in the mirror. Cause I think when we aren't confident, the way we look at ourselves is very low energy. We look at ourselves and we're like, we just feel like down, like literally like a
mhm,
cloud. And like even when I'm low, I try to just like I just put on a song and like it's really just like lifting your chin up and being it even when you don't feel like it.
mhm,
And also one thing I do as well that has helped me, like I said, I'm always working on my confidence. I do this thing in my head because I'm a big like dreamer. I'm like, I'm the most confident person in the world, which I don't know who else is in the world, but I do think I'm one of the most confident people I've ever met. I think being surrounded by confident people, I know has changed my friend's life because they see my confidence and they're like, if she can be that confident, I can. If she can believe in herself,
mhm,
I can. And I think
mhm,
that we don't see a lot of confidence in the world. Most people aren't like, I love myself.
mhm,
I think I'm amazing. Sorry. Like, I'm awesome. Most people aren't like that. So when you come across it, it's like, oh, wow. Okay. I think I can be that awesome. And,
mhm,
you have people on the internet who, they are open, but to really embody confidence and like own yourself is a different type of energy. And I think being surrounded by people, and also smiling in the mirror. And then also, I ask myself questions all the time because questions really make you go into deeper thought. So, whenever your mind's just wandering, what I do is I'll be like, what's your favorite thing about yourself? And I'm like, well, if you really want to know. And like when I'm going to sleep, I'll ask myself questions like that, like, what are you most proud of today? And just
mhm,
taking those moments of emptiness and filling myself up and making it a habit to ask myself a question because it's much different to do an affirmation. I'm
mhm,
amazing. I'm amazing. I'm amazing versus what's the most amazing thing about yourself? Then you really have to think and produce it and answer back to yourself.
mhm. Yeah. I think that we don't engage in that conversation with ourselves either, or at least in the uplifting way. It's always negative. And so I
Right.
think that positive self-talk is very important. And
Hmm.
I know that's even something that I've been personally working on, and I still am working on. We'll have
Right.
these days where it's like a dip. But when we have those dips, I think it's also important of how do we get out of those dips? So for you, it's smiling in the mirror or telling
Mhm.
yourself the thing that you love about yourself. But I know there's so many things. And if you guys want to engage, comment what you do on how you actually lift yourself up. Because, like I said, everyone has different tools. Everyone is here to help each other. So I think that if you comment something, someone will be like, oh, I need to do that. So when we are going through fully embodying confidence, what does that look like? What does that mean? What does that resemble? So for you, who do you look to, or what do you do to really fully embody that piece um, on those like really low days?
So I'll use this morning as an example because this morning was totally not my morning. I
Mhm,
came out here and recently I've just had a terrible morning routine. In the beginning of
mhm,
the year, I was like on my morning routine, but recently it's especially I'm on a trip right now, like I'm in LA.
mhm,
So I woke up, I didn't move, like I didn't go outside because my friend who I'm with was sleeping. And then I ate too much and I was like, oh, like it's 8 a.m. and I am full. I haven't moved. Like my friend's sleeping, like I feel gross. And
mhm,
like immediately I just think of all the positive things. I think about like yesterday, I was at lunch with my friend, and she told me she always just like, I don't know how you're going to become the person you want to become, but I know you will. I know you will, right? And like thinking about like all the positive things, and it really is it's a self awareness and it's accountability too.
mhm,
Like if we're not lifting ourselves up, we aren't going to feel good. No one else's compliment matters at all. And
mhm,
so when I am on my low days, first of all, movement, amazing. I love
mhm,
the gym. I the gym is where my positive thoughts are like, they're more than positive. They're like explosive positive thoughts.
Mhm.
So movement totally is something I do on my bad days. Going on a walk, I swear, movement, it's incredible. For me, movement is medicine. I know food is
Mhm.
medicine as well, but movement is my medicine for sure. And self-talk, of like we already said, but I really encourage movement on your bad days. And easier said than done, right? Because on your bad days, you want to lay down and do nothing. But I
Mhm.
think on my low days, first, I have to lift myself up with words that get me to
Mhm.
go move my body,
Mhm.
which clears me out.
Yeah. Like even music too. Like this morning, I was listening to Mary J. Blige, Good Morning Gorgeous. That's actually
Yeah.
how I started today. I guess I'll play
Mhm.
it for you guys
Yeah.
because you need to find a song that lifts you up and empowers you. So if we listen to this song, it's just, you already feel it, right? It's the power, the positivity. So think of your favorite song. What's something that gets you out of your mind? Like it's already making me like, yay. So if you need a song, this one's really good.
My hype up song was much different today.
We have different music.
Yeah.
So
I'm so tired of feeling empty. Dry my eyes, it's time to fight. Seems like I'm always against me. Seems like this is never ending. And I refuse to let it end me. Mentally,
I like that. Refuse to let it end me.
I need my peace.
So you need peace.
I need my peace.
Because we deserve peace.
Sometimes you gotta look in the mirror and say, good morning, gorgeous. No one else can make me feel this way. Good morning, gorgeous.
So I think that song for me it's very eye-opening, right? We don't take the time each morning to like sit with ourselves. It's always get up, let's go. If you have kids, it's get up, get the kids, move, whatever that looks like. But we don't wake up and really sit with ourselves and tell ourselves how much we feel about ourselves, right? We're expecting other people to tell us you're beautiful, you're, smart, you're pretty, you're all these things. But we're not even sitting with ourselves first. So how do we even believe, right? Especially if we've gone through trauma. One of the things is you don't believe what people are saying is true. But if you wake up and have the intention to just say good morning, gorgeous, to yourself, you have to take that time to just sit with that. And so I love that song. It was actually gifted to me from a Reiki session I did a couple days ago. So again, pick the song that just inspires you, gets you out of that mood. For a while, it was Rise Up from Katy Perry. It just depends on where you're at. But I really like we were saying, the gym, working out, movement, dancing, singing, whatever kind of, I would say, like awakens your spirit is what you need to be doing. So every day can be different. You might have to wake up, say an affirmation. You might have to wake up and go for a walk. You might have to go wake up, meditate, or go outside just to breathe. You might need essential oils. You might need all these different things. But just know that this is not like a box. It's endless. So we can use so many different tools, especially if one's not really working for you that day. Your body's going to respond. So this is actually how I muscle test for my clients with kinesiology. So if their body isn't responding to, let's just say, an affirmation, that's because you don't believe it. How are you going to say an affirmation when you're not resonating? So what happens is you step back. You're rejecting it. So now you need something different. So everything will change and you can see what you need. So Kailey, when you think about your confidence, how is that showing up in your life now?
Well, one example is in business. I have literally failed at so many things. And it's funny because I'm starting another little project. because I'm a big, whenever I have a passion, I go for it.
Mhm.
And I'll just keep swinging. So in life, we're going to miss things. We're going to miss the shots we take, whether it's with a sport, an activity, a position in a club,
Mhm.
whatever someone's focus is. And really, my confidence now, let me tell you this story. I was on a plane ride. I must have been 18. So I don't know, 6 years ago.
Mhm.
And he was sitting on the window seat and we started talking. We were kind of flirting. And until I was turned off, because this guy was like, in life, I was telling him my dreams, and he was like,
Mhm.
one day you're not gonna have those dreams. Like you're not
Mhm.
gonna like, just wait. Cause he's like, you're so young. I think he was
Mhm.
probably 26 or something. He's like,
Mhm.
you're so young, like just wait. And I remember that day I like made a promise to myself, which I've always kept to myself. It was a really deep promise. I was like, I promise that no matter what, I will always believe in myself the same way and never let that energy of what I want die. And I think
Mhm.
my confidence has really allowed me to fail because I'm not scared to fail. I know I'm still great if I fail. I know
Mhm.
if I make a mistake, I'm still great. Like I know my failures aren't about who I am. And because like this is about trauma and abuse, I just want to say that my philosophy with everything is that everything is a higher purpose and a gift. Even
Mhm.
to go back to my relationship with food, which has been absolutely taking over my mind, terrible. It's turned into me helping hundreds and thousands of girls love their body image.
Mhm.
And that's something I never had. And I never understood the reason. And I've been able to turn that around to my biggest gift, to be able to
Mhm.
lift and uplift other young girls and young women in general. So I think confidence really allows you to see the worth in yourself at your lowest points.
Mhm. Yeah, my favorite quote is a pursuit of a dream heals broken wings, and that's from Billy Mills.
Mhm.
And I even have it tattooed on my shoulder because
Really?
at that time I was at my lowest. And
Mhm.
if I didn't have this desire, if I didn't have these dreams, I don't think I would be where I'm at right now. But
Right.
everyone's going through that. So
Right.
what is, our dreams? How do we even awaken that? And I know that you have to look at your story and see what you're overcoming, and that in itself is maybe a part of your passion. It doesn't have to be your career. It could be your passion and what you do to show up every single day, or how you help people daily, because dreams are so powerful. And I like to think like we have to think as if we're a little child sometimes to really see what is it like to have a dream again. And
Mhm.
so a lot of us have to, reconnect with our inner child and ask it, what are we supposed to be doing? You direct it, because this is, you're so pure at that stage. So now it's, what is the dream that we had when we were little? And someone said like the traumatic experience has caused them not to have ambition. So let's talk about that. How do we, when we have dreams, or it's calling to us in the back of our mind, how from coming or overcoming trauma, how do we step from our confidence and turn that into taking action in our dreams?
I think the biggest thing is, if you imagine a map and everything you've experienced, and you're just like, you have a map and you have no destination.
Mhm.
Every single day you're going to wake up reliving your experiences, still lost because
Mhm.
you're just on a map.
Mhm.
And when you create a destination, and a clear destination, these are my dreams, this is my map, and that is my destination. Every
Mhm.
single day you can wake up hopeful because now you're moving towards a destination. And I think we have, like you said, these thoughts in the back of our head, but they're just thoughts. They're not a destination. And I think something
Mhm.
that's really helped me is saying, this is what I want to do by when. These are my goals. Like really clarifying, this is my destination. Because
Mhm.
then every single day, you don't need to, your focus is planted on something. And I think getting clear on your dreams, that way you can create little steps forward, and every day wake up, you're moving towards something instead of a vague dream that's like, I want to do this someday. It's like your map is still empty.
Mhm. Yeah, I believe that our thoughts are what we create. So, meaning when we think about something, we already sent the intention. So, even coming from a place of, trauma, maybe, your dream is to be out of that situation.
Right.
So, just by creating that destination of saying, I am done. Sometimes it's hard to get out, but if you really have the intention of being out, the
Right.
path is already gonna be there. You're already gonna get pushed out, right? That's just how, the universe works. It could be, I really wanna start this business, and you say, I wanna start it, even if you're not confident. But that doesn't mean close the door. That means asking the right questions. So it means having intention with that dream and asking the universe, God, creator, whatever you believe in, higher power, to put those tools in your place for you to actually take action on it. And I think that was the biggest thing for me was when I wanted to do something, I allowed the creator to come in and, make it happen. I set myself up with intention every day, but it's allowing me to feel worthy, I think is like a biggest part of it is reminding yourself that if someone else can have it, you can have it too. They're not better than you. They,
Right.
there's no comparison. It's just
Right.
one person believes
Right.
that they can have it, and now we just got to boost you up to believe. So I think that also incorporating like a community of support. If your family's not supportive, find someone who is. And because when we have dreams, if some person and you're in a low state, you're going through healing and someone says no, well then you're going to start believing it. So find the people that do believe it, I think is really important to think about. So I think that with confidence in our healing and going into your passion and your dreams, it is surrounding yourself with people that uplift you and saying you can do this. Because if people are going to pull you back down, then that's where you're going to stay. So I think that's really important. But do you guys have any questions for Kailey at this moment? Because we're almost going to take our break. So comment below. But Kailey, is there anything you want to share with everyone? I know we kind of covered a lot today, but is there anything that's still on your heart that you just want to express to everyone in the group?
Well, I saw this comment and I wanted to address it. It's I'd love to hear from someone who struggled with addiction and alcoholism and regain self-control, because I've been looking for that. So one of some things that I've struggled with, which I don't share on social media yet, just because, like I said, my audience is mostly teen girls, and I'm still kind of figuring out how I want to handle that, because I love being vulnerable. I will spill my whole life. It's just with that audience, with a vulnerable young girls, I don't want to expose them to anything negative. But I have struggled with addiction. I joined AA. I tried all these things, and actually this year I was like, I'm just going to be sober for the whole year, because actually I struggled much more with weed than alcohol, which people are like, you can't be addicted to weed. I was addicted. So I think fully cutting that out of my life, and if there is anyone who has struggled with only one or the other, I think cutting everything out. I even stopped drinking coffee, so I haven't actually I never really drank coffee, but I stopped drinking energy drinks. I just stopped all caffeine. So I think I had a lot more confidence. I think when we drink or do any drugs, I personally believe that it's more than just one drink in one night, because it kind of rolls over to the next day. We feel gross. And then the day after that, we're kind of like getting back into routine, which turns into like 3 days. And if you're drinking even 10 days a year, that's 30 days. And that's 30 days. That's 1 month of the year. You feel gross. And it is hard to cut things out and be different. And I think part of having confidence and moving forward is being willing to be different. And also, to what you just said about surrounding yourself with people, yesterday, actually, lunch, I went to lunch with with a friend who we had a falling out. She's my best friend for 6 years. And I was literally crying at this lunch table because we're still in like our mending phase. And I told her, I was like, I feel like when I tell you my goals, you judge me, like you don't believe in me, like you don't uplift me. And she was like, Kailey, she's like, I can't even lift myself up. Like you helped me, you taught me how to lift myself up. And to know that when people treat you a certain way, it is a reflection of themselves. And with that, to be careful about who you're surrounded by, because I need to be aware in the friendship going forward. Like maybe I don't want to be BFFs with someone who doesn't lift themselves up and therefore can't empower me. So that's definitely making sure you're surrounded by other people and just cutting out things that most people think, like being able to be different. And lastly, something I do want to say is that I don't know, because Jacquelyn, I know you said there are a lot of businesswomen in here, but when Jacquelyn says I have 660,000 followers, 6 months ago I had 0. So I'm very passionate about TikTok growth because it's obviously made a big impact in my life. And I'm in the process of creating a course, which I guess, I don't know if they can go to my site or if I should send you the link, but just knowing that whatever your passion is, I never understood the power of social media. So whether you have a business or brand, just knowing that if you're confident on social media and show up, it's a great way to grow your brand. I wouldn't be here if my
me either.
Yeah. So
yeah, send me the link and then I'll put it in the description of this video. But I'm so grateful that you're here. I know all these women are grateful that you're here. I feel like there's just so much that we still haven't even uncovered. So we'll invite you back next time when we do another workshop. But if anyone has questions, comment. If you have anything to say, you can say that as well. We can stay on a little bit longer. But I just feel like when we're joining together, like I said, this is our community. This is a space where everyone can be vulnerable, share, connect with each other. You can connect with us. We're here to support you. And I really mean that. I'm not just saying it just to be like, everyone says we're here to support you. No, I really mean that, because I know what it's like to do things alone. And I also know what it's like to be brought up by a community. And what that does for us is so healing and it's so powerful, especially since we're all coming from different places. We have so much to offer each other that literally there's 400 of us, and there's someone that you can connect with, especially if you're going through something. It just takes a question and it takes a little bit of vulnerability. But I've seen so many miracles in the past week. I was helping a friend get out of an abusive relationship where she's pregnant and we had nothing. She moved from out of state to come stay with me. And the thing that happened was so powerful. All these women showed up and she was gifted all this baby stuff. She's due in like a month. She has now everything. So I truly believe we have the power to heal together. And when we all just show up, I mean, if we have to start a group message page or whatever, just say, I need prayers. I need this. I need this. Everyone is going to show up for each other. And I think that's so beautiful. And also showing confidence. We can cheer each other on if we have to, go and promote ourselves and our work and our healing, right? It's just taking that time to really connect in with ourselves. So Kailey, is there anything you want to leave with everyone? I know you said you have your workshop that you're going to do, or your course that you're going to do for your business to social media marketing. But is there anything you want to just leave with them? Any last words for everyone?
Just remember that everything in life is a gift. Every bad moment, every good moment, it's all for a reason. Even the most traumatic of events in our life all have a beautiful purpose. And that's what gets me through my lowest lows. And I hope that not only do you remind yourself in your lowest lows, but in your highest highs, be grateful. And for me, being grateful means imagining something wasn't there. It's the best way for me to cultivate that gratitude and appreciation and love for myself. Like even imagining myself like without my ring finger. Like literally imagine myself only have 4 fingers. So many people aren't blessed with 10 fingers. And when you imagine yourself not having that gift and what life would be like without it, and then it's there, you can do that with people, with everything in life, with your business, with your job. There's there is a power within us, and it's already inside you. And I hope you remind yourself every day that life is a gift, and life is happening for you, not to you.
Thank you so much. Everyone comment and say thank you, Kailey, for being here. Like I said, we'll bring you back on again so we can keep going deeper into, I mean, there's so many things we could talk about, but thank you so much for taking the time, especially when you're traveling and you took your time to come and be on here and inspire all these women. So thank you so much. And I hope you have a wonderful day after this.
Yes. Thank you for having me. Bye, guys.
Yeah. Bye. So everyone, we are going to go ahead and take like a 10-minute break. Go drink water, go use the restroom, do what you need to do. We'll come back it's going to be 11:05 PST. So 10 minutes from wherever you're at in the world. I know everyone's from everywhere. We're going to just take a minute. When you come back, just have a paper and pencil, kind of get into a place where you can do some healing work, because we're going to dive deep into more of our healing from trauma moving forward. So also, if you have sticky notes, get some sticky notes, because we're going to do some exercises. So thank you, everyone. I'll see you guys back here in 10 minutes. Welcome back, everyone. I'm just going to give everyone a couple more minutes to come back to join us. We're going to go deeper into our healing and what we can do to move forward and heal from our trauma. So, like I said, go ahead, get your pencil and paper. We're going to do a section with sticky notes. So, if you can have those, if not, that's okay. And just get in a place where you can really sit with yourself for a little bit. And of course, you can come back to these exercises later. You can use it as many times as you want. This is for you, for your healing. I just want to give you guys the time and the space to really dive deep into that today. It was amazing to hear from Kailey Breyer. She's an inspiration. I'm so glad she was able to be on here with us to work with us on how to step in our confidence. So go ahead and comment below what your takeaway was from the first half of our workshop. I'm excited to hear what you guys are taking away from this, because this is something that I didn't just throw together. It was something that I sat with for many weeks and put intention and thought and meditation on this, because I know how important this is, and I just wanted to create a space for you guys to have that. So go ahead, tell me what your takeaway was from the first half. I'm just going to give everyone a couple more minutes here to join, and then we'll get started. Okay. Okay. So welcome back, everyone. What we're going to be doing now is just going deep into our healing and talking about what it's like to heal, what are the tools to heal, how do we step forward to heal from our trauma, so that we can embody this amazing energy of our high divine self, to be present with ourselves, to move forward and be accepted. So at this moment, what I want you to do is think about how trauma has been affecting you in your life. How is it showing up in your life right now? I know this is a little tough, but I want you guys to really sit with yourself for the rest of this workshop. It's going to be intense a little bit, but it's always positive too. So I want to make sure everyone has this space. Okay, so what does trauma do in our lives that is affecting us? And I want to touch on how it affects us in different ways. So, like we were saying earlier, it affects our confidence levels. It affects our spirituality. It affects our motivation. It affects how we show up in our career, and it affects all these different things in our lives. So when you think about how healing is so important, we can also think about, how is it affecting us? So it can be physical. Is our body in pain? Is our body physically inflaming? Is it giving us anxiety, right? What is happening to us physically? How are we responding to this trauma? How is it affecting us mentally? How is it affecting us emotionally? How is it affecting us spiritually, financially, sexually? How are these traumas affecting us? And when we think about this, it's not to kind of get down on ourselves. It's not to think, the negative things. But what is going to happen is now we'll be able to move forward. So comment below what your main focus is for today. And when we go through this next piece, I want to really embody what is going on within yourself. So when we go through trauma, it does affect us in all different ways. and how it shows up in our life. And the reason why it's starting to affect us is because we need to heal these things. Our body is not meant to store negative experiences. We're meant to heal, and we're meant to really, embody this new person that we are meant to become. So when we go through things like traumatic experiences, what happens is now we have blocks, and these things are showing up in our life. And when we let it be suppressed, it's blocking us.